All righty, folks, let's just be honest with each other. Sometimes we got to get over ourselves. Sometimes we carry a lot of mental baggage from our youth. Sometimes we've had people, we've had relationships. Shoot, you may have had family who have always said you will amount to nothing, you're a loser, blah, 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 blah. We're going to talk about some of those things. We're going to talk about how to dump those things and leave them in the past and how you can move on and do bigger and better things. Taylor, Kyle, thank you for being here. This is actually interview number 2. In interview number 1, we learned about Taylor going off to Davenport, which is a big city when you compare it to Montana, 1,500 folks. Yeah. But she also talked about some mental challenges that she had to get over herself, and she wanted to have a second conversation about this. So, Taylor, why don't we give us a taste of some of the baggage that you've admitted that you had and you just had to dump on the side of the road? What were some of those?
Well, growing up, I didn't grow up with my mom or my dad. I grew up, my sister and her husband raised me. Okay. Well, long story short, her husband was a narcissist. And he would always tell me that I was not worth anything, was going to be a piece of crap my whole life, never amount to anything. And my biggest thing at that time was I wanted to get my CDL because he owned his own excavating company. And I was illegally driving the dump trucks down the road as it was. But when he passed, everything just kind of went to crap. And I always held that, deep down, growing up with him for 18 years, being told that, I'd never amount to anything. And when I met Kyle, that all changed. That's the quick story.
Nice. So Kyle, let's go to you. So again, you find Taylor, you guys bump into each other. You see this young woman, who maybe doesn't have this, I don't know what you would call it, self-image maybe. And you see something different. You saw something.
I saw she was a hard worker. And even if you took the hard working for a girl statement out, just say hard worker, even for a guy, because she was doing a lot of physical labor. She was a little bit of her backstory. She was doing excavating, way before I met her. And then when I met her, she was ranching. She was bringing cattle over to basically in front of my renter's house. So that's actually how we met. There she was standing in a nice steamy pile of cow patty. And
so romantic, so romantic.
I know, right? So, yeah, I just seeing the hard working ethic behind it. And then, when I started to get to know her, I realized that she severely lacked on, she had a lot of self-doubt in herself. And I see what she can physically do. And I'm like, if you can just fix this self-doubt and know that you can actually be so much better in these categories that you think that you can't, oh my God, you're going to be a wrecking ball. So that's what I've seen in her.
Yeah. So she'd be unstoppable if she just dump the baggage from this narcissist asshole on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. And so Taylor, what did you see in Kyle? How did Kyle shine a light on that? Because sometimes you don't even know you're carrying this crap in a backpack. And Kyle's like, dude, honey, you gotta drop that off. You gotta let that go. How did he do that?
Well, when I quit the ranch because I got hurt, I had 6 months off while I was recuperating, and he really pushed it. Like, you need to figure out what you want to do because you can do whatever you set your mind to. And so at that point in time, towards the end of the recovery, I sold my truck and paid for more or less a school to go get my CDL. I did everything on my own except for I had to rent the truck out. It was just him pushing me and saying that, you can do it. And, ignore what you were told in the past because I believe in you. And that's what I did. And I went and I passed my CDL, everything on the first go around. And after that, it was just, I kept improving myself and got better jobs after better jobs and was able to pay off all my debt and have about $15,000 saved in 4 years.
That's amazing. So, it is so funny and also a little bit sad, but I'm going to stick on the funny side that sometimes all we need to hear from somebody is I believe in you. Mm-hmm. Right? Because for some of us,
reassurance.
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah, some of us have never heard that. Some of us have just had, you're a loser, you're nothing, you blah, 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 narcissist crap. But when you get that person who says, I believe in you, it's like a bolt of lightning. It's like,
Yep.
like you're shocked by it. Like you haven't heard
Oh,
those
yeah.
nice words.
Yep. I was very shocked by it. So
Look at you, Kyle. Hopefully you're smiling.
I should have did better. She should be way more ahead.
Well, the good news is you
But,
both are very young. You have a lot more time together. So
Yeah.
that's good. So I guess the one thing, because I've had a lot of people I've interacted with whose childhood sucked, but how do you not let that come back, Taylor? Because again, that's some deep rooted shit we sometimes carry. How do you keep the head straight?
well, I disconnected myself from my family. So
There you go. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, because even to this day, I do talk to my mom a little bit, but even to this day, they just bring you down. And, I can't do it. So I've just disconnected myself from my family, and he's all I got. So
it's more so audit your network. And if that's family, it's family. It's the healthiest thing. I mean, you just got to get emotion out of it. I can't emphasize enough on that. It's just remove the emotion, do what you have to do.
Number 7,
Yep,
that's the one. Audit your network.
Yep. So what really helped with realizing that even my sister was doing it to me is when I was driving truck for a local asphalt company. The guys would notice my mood would shift, and they're like, your sister called you, didn't she? I'm like, yeah.
That's not good.
Like,
that's not good.
Yeah, they're like, that's not healthy. You need to just quit it. So one day, after a very argumentative phone call with her, I blocked her on Facebook and the phone and never talked to her since. That was 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago now.
Nice. Yeah. Again, folks, you got to audit your network. If you are looking to improve yourself, go on a new journey, change your life in any meaningful way, a lot of times you've got to cut people out. Now, in this case, it was family, which sucks, but you're in a much better place now because you don't have that, I don't know, voice or whatever, baggage.
Baggage. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't keep bringing you down.
Yeah. You got to, I actually heard somebody at the event the other day talk about the most valuable real estate, and it's the 6 inches between your ears. Right. Because if you let your mind go the wrong direction, it could go really, really bad, really, really bad. So you've got to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. So so let's give the audience some hope and encouragement, Taylor. A lot of us have some baggage. What would you tell somebody who's in a bad spot? Would you give them permission to dump it? Would you tell them to find somebody that believes in you? What would be some advice?
Definitely dump it, get it out of your head, find someone who believes in you and will help, put courage into you to step out of your comfort zone. And that's a lot of it, is just stepping out of that comfort zone and getting it all out of your head.
I think that's wise advice, the comfort zone thing. Sometimes, I don't know, it's called Stockholm syndrome, where you kind of like love the captor. I think that's what it's called. But that's, guys, you're a prisoner in your own mind. Get away from these toxic people. Protect yourself. Kyle, you obviously saw something in Taylor. What would be some advice that you would give somebody out there?
I mean, she really hit it all. It's, for me, I mean, I've always kind of had that robot mentality is, you have to do it and you got to get your emotion out of it. Like, I've been listening to a lot of Alex Hormozy a lot. He's been really helpful with the mental mind shift. And, there's been so many sayings he said, but, one of the other things is, a lot of people, they know the answer. Like they reach out to somebody, they ask for help, but they deep down inside sometimes know exactly what the answer is. So like one thing Alex says is, if mentor me, what would mentor me tell me, right? So
Oh, yeah.
just do that, right? And
Just
I
do
love
that.
that. And
Yeah.
you know, it seems like when we're mentoring, and this is also coming from him, when we're mentoring somebody and we're telling them, hey, just do X, Y, Z, it's so clear. We feel so smart when we do that. But then when we have the same exact problems, we're lost. And it's because of that mental holdback. So if you can remove that mental holdback, I mean, you know exactly what to do every time.
That's amazing. Well, Taylor, I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that you were able to dump the baggage on the side of the road, and you're in a much better place now. You guys are an awesome couple doing awesome things. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Thank
You
you.
too.